Have you ever thought everything in your life was under control? What would you feel if you woke up one morning to find your most precious belonging had left you? I'm Michael. Once upon a time, I had a happy marriage. I married Sarah, and together we dreamed of the future. However, life sometimes takes unexpected turns. This is my story of love, betrayal, and ultimately finding my inner peace. Before diving into my story, don't forget to subscribe and like this video to not miss the most striking stories about cheating and marriage. Now I invite you to this emotional journey. Let's start our video. Sarah and I felt a deep connection in the early years of our marriage. However, over time, I started to feel her drifting away. The first signs of this distancing began with our conversations diminishing and Sarah spending less time at home. When I came home in the evenings, I would find her note, "I'll be late, have dinner without me." At first, I thought it was work stress, but as it became more frequent, I started to worry. One day, I learned that Sarah wanted to transform our relationship into an open marriage, influenced by her co-worker Deborah. That evening, I gathered the courage to talk to her. During dinner, I said, "We need to talk about the distance between us." Sarah looked at me and said, "Michael, I love you, but I feel something is missing in my life." She continued, "Maybe a bit of freedom could revive our relationship." This suggestion deeply hurt me, but thinking of her happiness, I asked, "What do you want us to do?" When Sarah said, "I'm thinking about an open marriage," my world collapsed. Sarah carefully explained the terms of the open marriage arrangement. "It will be just physical, no emotional ties," she said. "After a few months, everything will return to normal, and we can focus on starting our family." I just listened in shock, not knowing what to do. I agreed for Sarah's happiness, but I felt a huge void inside. "Do we have to make this decision?" I asked, but Sarah was determined. That night, I lay alone in our bedroom, regretting accepting Sarah's proposal. I didn't want a divorce, but the idea of sharing my wife was unbearably. After accepting this new arrangement, Sarah started going out with her coworkers, Jack and Lewis. This situation deeply affected me. One evening, when Sarah didn't return home and I came back early, I found that she and her belongings were gone. There was no note, just an empty bed and a few of her items left in the closet. I was devastated, not knowing what to do. As I pondered how to move on, a scandal broke out at work. Sarah's relationship with Jack and Lewis caused a huge scandal due to the violation of internal ethics, leading to an investigation. The explosion of this scandal was my revenge, because I knew my wife had sexual relations with Jack and Lewis. Steve, a friend of mine at my wife's workplace, had told me about this situation and had offered me a proposal to take my revenge. Steve had said that if I wanted, he could share the evidence he had with the boss to help me take revenge on my wife, and I had accepted. Following this, Steve shared the evidence with the boss, and the scandal erupted. Amidst this chaos, I received an email from Sarah expressing her desire to return. However, I knew I could no longer trust her words. After reading Sarah's email, I was torn between my love for her and her wish to return. However, I realized it was time to find inner peace and learn from what happened. Following these events, Sarah and I decided to go our separate ways. As I sought to find my inner peace, Sarah's life took a completely different turn. She chased after freedom, but failed to foresee its consequences. The open marriage proposal and workplace scandal unexpectedly impacted her life. After being forced to leave her job, Sarah found herself in a void. The chaos of our relationship and the workplace incident left lasting damages on her social circle and professional image. What started as a search for freedom and adventure turned into loneliness and regret over time. Eventually, Sarah found a new job and decided to focus on her career. The new job offered her a chance to prove herself and leave the past behind. However, she still felt a void in her personal life. Finally, Sarah found inner peace. She managed to take control of her life again and was filled with new hopes for the future.